Everybody. Continuing on the subject of breath of last time, I was noticing that that there is a place in which I feel almost suffocation. So if I allow myself to get in touch with that place, yeah, I get a sensation almost as if there's no possibility to intake air or let air out. It's like this kind of fist,
Is
tight
that
fist.
at the bottom of the exhale? Where at which point in the breath is it?
Kind of, I would say, in the middle. Like I could breathe in more, but I could also exhale from there. So somewhere in the middle, I feel this like it's almost like a suspension of air. Like
Yeah.
it's full.
And is there a feeling that comes with it? Fear or
Sadness,
okay?
I guess. But
It's, you see, what we tend to do, it's perfect, Mary. What we tend to do is we have these experiences in this yoga, and then we kind of think that that's gonna have to relax. That's gonna have to, and actually, what we don't realize is that which you're experiencing, the fact of experiencing it is the process of purifying it. You are experiencing it's a very deep contraction, and it's kind of under the surface. It's quite subtle, but at those moments, you're welcoming something that's actually there somewhere, somehow. It's a habit. It's a habit of it's a separate self. We don't have to, in other words, we don't have to deconstruct it. And there's not a pranayama that I could give you that would, what you're doing is perfect. Just allow it. Don't, and maybe it will stay for a while, and maybe you'll discover other layers under it, even more tension, more, maybe you'll discover something completely different. But I guarantee you that at some point, because it will have been welcomed somehow, this area, this air localization, it will go. It will reorchestrate.
might take it's like
It
this.
might never, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, we're not here doing business, like, buying our freedom, our right for a perfectly transparent body and a perfectly effortless breath. But little by little by little, the breath and the way we perceive the body does get realigned with the truth. There's less fear in the body, little by little by little. But for some of us, it takes longer than for others. Do you want to hear something? I've had butterflies in my tummy my whole life, and I still have them. Butterflies in my tummy, because I must have been scared as a little child, quite early on, and a feeling of insecurity. So that's very, very common to me, to my feeling. And it has gotten better, you could say, with this approach. But what's really gotten better is that it's okay. On the other hand, I used to have a very deep contraction in my solar plexus around breath. When I started doing the Kashmir yoga with Francis, it was like a bit like you, and that's gone. But yeah, you're on the right track is all I can say. The fact that you can experience these means they're allowed to surface, and you're not, I don't know, you're letting something appear.
Yeah, I am actually trying to tune into it, so that I'm trying to tune into it, like, because it would come easier to just avoid it, right?
Yes, and if there's an emotional,
when it starts like arising, I'm like, okay, I'm coming.
yeah, that's
right.
good. And but lovingly, like, no, I'm gonna get rid of you, no, right?
I
But
don't know, maybe I'm not so loving.
it's okay. You do your best, and you explore it. And if there's a shade of sadness, maybe really send a message. sadness, you're welcome. You know, let your sadness come up. And maybe it's going to come up and you're going to cry. Who knows? The way of the body is not rational. Good luck with it.
Hi.
Hi.
I had a very strange experience towards the end when you were saying, as you often do, be the awareness. And what was strange, I felt like, who are you talking to? You're not talking to me, because it was like I was trying to identify with awareness. That's what happened. But then that's and I felt like you're talking to somebody else behind me. And then I felt like it can't be you, as in I, talking to me. It's awareness that you're in, talking to awareness that I'm in. And so all this non-dual stuff about there not being a real person, I think I actually slightly experienced it for the first time, and it hasn't quite gone, because now I'm experiencing myself a bit more, and people here like these kind of hand puppets in a sort of art house movie for children or something. Not
You're
quite so
funny.
serious anymore. Even the
Well, no, but
serious.
that's a good image. We're all little puppet. God's got like as many hands as there are beings. That's
Yeah,
right. God has got as many hands. Also for trees and cats and dogs and insects. So that's a lot of hands that God's
yeah. Even
got.
the glass, it's there.
Yeah,
It's completely
exactly. And that's right. That's a good image.
invisible. And what I found
But
interesting.
but 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 just but also when you say I now, the idea when I say abide as awareness or be knowing, I don't know what I said, but is at that moment feel yourself not just to be in awareness, but actually to be awareness. You're not just
Well, that was the thing. It was the I trying to sort of identify, ironically, with the awareness, and then I realized that is completely nonsensical. So you're not
that's
talking.
right.
So then I had this experience that you
I get
weren't
it.
talking to me. You were talking to somebody else,
No,
right
I wasn't
behind me.
talking to somebody else. I was
But what I
talking to
mean is,
myself. I was talking to myself.
well, that's kind of what I meant. That was the result of it. It was awareness talking to awareness in the end,
That's right. Yeah.
completely bypassing you and me.
Yeah. And right now Keith is talking to Ellen, but really it's just God, Keith, Ellen, and God's having fun, kind of, having a
Exactly.
kind of conversation. And it's boring to talk to yourself. So let's have different characters here but really it's all God. God
Yeah.
talking to him, her. Uh-oh. My partner puppet is closing their eyes. You just close your eyes. Don't forget it. Okay.
Well, I was just remembering something about when the last speaker was talking in a serious way, trying to work something out. And there was a feeling it wasn't so serious, and yet it was okay. It was still serious, but in a non-serious way. So this being serious was okay, but the wider context wasn't really very serious. Wasn't so serious anymore. Had a lot more space around the seriousness. But the seriousness
No,
was
that's a good
fine.
discovery too. I think that's a great discovery for my. I like it when I have that at hand because we can get very, very, very concerned with our dramas,
Yeah.
and they are serious, they are real. But then sometimes there's this lovely coexisting with that is this transparency of things, like Rupert's book. I don't know, some of you may know it. The transparency of things, like the transparency of everything, and
Yeah, because
it
the hand puppet,
coexists.
was being serious, and that was fine. The hand puppet was being a serious hand puppet, but it was still a hand puppet.
Exactly.